Welcome to TradersPost office hours for July 1st, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Tom Hartman, marketing manager here at TradersPost, alongside Mike Christensen, co-founder and CSO. We're always working to make TradersPost better day in and day out. Each week, we take a deep dive into all things TradersPost, answering your questions, gathering your feedback, and helping you get the best out of the best automated trading platform in the multiverse. I messed that up.
Try it again.
Get the most out of the best automated trading platform in the multiverse.
I love it.
I've never known it's going to be the multiverse or the universe or the multidimensional structure of existence, the transcendental object at the end of time.
The omniverse.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, the everything verse.
We are here, as with other traders, watching what appears to be the beginning of a knife falling on Bitcoin and on NASDAQ. So you're going to forgive us for being distracted. Actually, you don't have to forgive us at all. You're distracted too, I'm sure. Everyone there watching. It's fun. It's fun being a trader where everything matters or everything can matter, where someone else might just be annoyed by someone's tweet, but we can make money off of it. I just feel special because of that. I'm not sure if you feel the same way too, Mike.
I absolutely do. To be honest, I think trading has helped me become a little less, I don't know if emotional is the right word, but like upset by them. Yeah, I guess emotional, upset by the news in general. You know, something will happen and I'll be like, what's the trade opportunity now? So now in my mind, it's like things can go up, things can go down. There's a reason they go up. There's a reason they go down. And when you find a news catalyst, it gets pretty exciting. This is an interesting range for Bitcoin, though. I think it keeps bouncing around this general range between 100,000 and 107,000 and just keeps passing back and forth. I know you guys have been doing your ongoing show covering Bitcoin as well, and I'm excited to get your update here. Do you think that was potentially a trend that we're going to have to pay attention to now? Because that's three lower highs confirmed now, and it looks like it's coming back to test 100,000 again.
Like, do I think the flag will break and will fall down?
Possibly, yeah. What are you thinking?
I don't think so at all. I think we've fallen exactly to the level. Well, I'm following Bitcoin, and it fell exactly to the level I've been calling for, 105.6.
Mm-hmm.
I think we maybe go a little bit lower to 105.3 or what have you, and then that's it. We're in wick territory right now, and I think we bounced up because of the global liquidity trend. We just finished the June OPEX. So it makes sense that we'd have to sell off into the quarter end. I'm expecting a rally or sideways from here. I say that, but you know, if an event shock happens, maybe something happens there. I just find it to be pretty improbable.
I see. Okay.
In fact, I actually doubled down on after hours. I've been talking about the Polymarket bet Bitcoin to 150, and just to make it clear, so my Bitcoin to 150 bet didn't pay off because it had to happen within June, but I renewed that bet immediately for July. Whenever the price is down, and you can get options to the upside or any bet to the upside for a highly volatile asset, I find that to be like a perfect trade. I'll take that trade 9 times out of 10 because, like, why not? The upside, for $100 you can make, $10,000. Why not try that? I'll take that bet every month. So I renewed that. I feel pretty confident. Not financial advice. Do your own research. If you do anything that I say, you definitely will fail. There, I said it. Speaking of which, about trading, the last week has been jam-packed full of information here for TradersPost. It's been pretty fun. To start off with, I just wanted to go ahead and talk about your interview that's finally up with Dan Schwartz, who is running for Congress in Maryland, right?
That's right.
So we actually, Peter and I teased this, right?
The first congressional district.
Well, we were talking about this on Friday. We didn't want to drop the name until the video came out, but I thought, the last series of Trading Bot Sessions video interviews have all just been, I think, home runs after home run. They're all interesting in their own unique way. You can't say that any one of them is like the other one, yet they're all doing prop firms. the stay-at-home mother, the construction worker, the potential congressman. I can't believe that prop firms and what's underlying what they're doing.
I mean, to be fair, I think we got a little bit of a selection bias there. We've been only reaching out to a lot of prop firm traders lately, but
they
nonetheless,
exist.
it is very popular, and it's just very accessible for people. I still maintain the opinion that prop firm trading is a fantastic way for those with limited capital or really kind of new to trading to get involved in the markets, because you're just simply taking a very different asymmetric risk, right? You can open a $2,000 futures account and try to trade these very levered products and watch that $2,000 disappear within a month. Or you can spend $49 a month or 50 or 100 or relatively what the cost is. It's generally around 50 to $100 for a prop firm account to test your skill set and get paid and rewarded for that skill if it starts to prove out. And ultimately, the skill that we're talking about here, and I'm going to say this over and over and over again on this show, your job isn't to be a trader. Your job is to be a risk manager, manage the risk.
That's right. Well, I went into options because I loved knowing what my risk was at the beginning and being able to get an asymmetrical payoff at the end.
Of course.
However, you're time locked. And so you have the situation where you could be right directionally, but wrong in the time frame that it happens, which you end up losing. But I always preferred that over futures, over even just straight holding the asset, because I wanted to make enough money to make the risk worthwhile. Prop firms, when I started dealing with prop firms, they had the time limit for your valuation account. This is like 2 years ago, or whatever. You had to pass your evaluation, let's say within 30 days. Some of them even less than that, and then or you had to pay again. So there was this sort of like, it felt like options again, but without the asymmetry. And I certainly wasn't thinking in terms of having multiple prop firm accounts. That thought never even occurred to me. Now they all removed the time frame for how long you could have your evaluation account on. Some of them you get paid out even before you get the live funded. And you can multiply a trade across multiple different accounts. So you have this non-recourse leverage where you don't have the asymmetry of an options, but what you give up on the asymmetry, you get with scalability and no time frame.
Sure. Right.
So it's like a type of, it's like a new, it's not a derivative. It's not a swap line. It's not a derivative, but it acts almost like a new type of derivative. Like I just don't know how to actually think about it. And when I see people, and I told you this before, Mike, that is going to be very, very jealous if you and other people were making money with prop firms, and I'm not, and you guys are. And this is very upsetting, but I'm very happy for you, but I'm very upset at the same time.
To be clear, I haven't made a payout yet. I'm still working towards my goal here. So not quite there yet.
Well, you're on the path if there's a path to payout, you're on it.
Sure. Agreed.
I don't even have the accounts open. Like I'm not even doing it at all. So I have no hope of it ever happening. And so it just, to me, it's such a beautiful thing to see. And the thing I love most about it is that, and this is what the trading bot sessions epitomized is, to me, the construction worker, the farmer, the stay-at-home mom, the congressional candidate. To me, it's like a superhero. Like it's like literally anyone could be doing this.
We definitely seem to have plucked out some people that fit into like the village people category, right? We got just everyday people who are all prop traders.
I think in terms of Sense8, you ever see this show Sense8, where the 8 people from all over the world, they're sort of like connected mentally, and they could share each other's consciousness. So this guy who knows karate can also tap into the skills of the actor from this country. He can tap into the skills of the welder from this country. And this is, to me, what it feels like. It feels like anybody can be part of this.
I've seen some previews for that one, but never got around to watching that. Is it worth it?
It's so good. It gets canceled after 2 seasons, but you don't need any more than that.
Okay, the 2 are good.
All right, so I want to play here the opening clip for your interview on Trading Bot Sessions. You guys got to go check it out. Let me give you guys a little bit of a teaser.
Sure.
Oh, it's not running? You can't hear it?
Nope.
Okay, let me try it again. Yeah, 1 second. Let me try it again. Tell me if you can hear this one, Peter. I'm playing it. Yeah, but I guess it's not working. 1 second. Let me just go to the video itself.
It looks like it froze or something.
Let me stop it. Oh, never mind. My mistake. 1 second, folks. Here we go.
It's a unique angle to be supporting your journey as a congressional candidate through prop firm trading.
Last year, I was able to more than double my take-home salary through working with 3 different prop firms.
Should elected officials be allowed to trade at all?
Elected officials should not be able to trade when they are in Congress. It happens on both sides of the aisle. We really need to get on top of it. And we really need to get on top of an Oval Office that believes that they can, roll out their own meme coins and take advantage of the American people like that. Micros are the best thing in the world. Scalping 2NQ, you can make your money really, really quickly and wrap up your trading day in less than 30 minutes. I'm just a regular guy. I think we need more regular people in our government who are like me, who want to make our government work instead of just setting it on fire.
Spicy interview, so fun.
We covered some really good topics, and by the way, I want to applaud Peter for that intro segment. Once again, it feels like the intro to some kind of Netflix TV series. It's fantastic. The interview in general, though, went really, really well. I feel like the topics we covered, of course, are some of them are slightly political, but not to the extent that it's polarizing. I think we've got some opinions that most people share, especially around whether or not elected officials should be allowed to trade individual stocks. There's an obvious unfair advantage there, especially as they're sitting in committees that give them insights that we don't have access to. So, it's a clear conflict of interest. But I think the real the bit there about how he's managing to trade these prop accounts and campaign and take care of his family is impressive, and prop firms have given him that opportunity. In particular, he calls out Top Step as being his favorite firm. That's where he's currently been called up to live. And, he's continuing to make a living doing this. It's fantastic.
When he said the double his take home pay through prop firms, there's just something like, I don't want to sound too romantic about the idea, but there's not a huge amount of opportunity or places in our culture where you can just, by your own merit, by your own grit, by just applying yourself and having discipline, that you can go from almost nothing to build something for yourself. And to me, markets have always been about opportunity. And by understanding how to think, multidimensionally, how to think with multiple different vectors in order to generate profit for yourself. That's what it did for me. I went from before COVID, I had a different type of business, and then after that, all the options went out the window, and I couldn't meet with anyone anymore. And along with a bunch of other people, we're like, "Well, we're going to do." And then this market stuff opens up, and then it turned out, hey, there's a way of turning your understanding, your knowledge of a particular thing into something profitable. So there's people over there, they're trading, Nike stock because they care about shoes. Other people are trading video game stock. Other people are trading, the GameStop thing happened because some of the people who were participating in it is people within the video game sphere who already had an aptitude for metrics in video games and considering 9 different things at the same time, and they're like, well, I can turn that knowledge into understanding options in order to play the GME thing. So I just think all this is just amazing, and I firmly believe that everyone should have an exposure to trading, because just the knowledge is so useful in your everyday life, much less being able to make money off of it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, it's honestly what attracted me to markets in the first place. It's the only place in the world that I can think of, aside from running a business, obviously, that allows you to scale your skill in a way that you can put in the same effort, but multiply that effort into millions of dollars, right? I mean, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, if you're able to scale up to a point where, you know, you're trading a large enough pool of capital, you can turn millions of dollars into tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars. In fact, on the live stream today with the futures desk, I referenced the interview Trader from 1987 that was done about Paul Tudor Jones at the time that he was running $100 million fund. And now, of course, we know he's worth $8 billion plus or whatever it is now. It's just amazing how much wealth can be created when you've mastered your view on markets and your ability to express a good trade over and over and over again. And there's just not a lot of opportunities out there like that in the world.
That's right. Well, folks, we are going to be getting to the questions that you guys have sent in and the feedback you provided, which has been fantastic. You guys have been taking advantage of the chat bubble message that we sent out yesterday, and you've gone in there and you've let us know the things that you're interested in. Some things we've talked about before, other things might be interesting. But before we get to that, I just wanted to congratulate Mike on the live stream today with the futures desk, where he was trading with a group of people and on futures. And I thought this was just absolutely fantastic, because what you get is this is the type of thing I want to see more people do. To where you're trading, but you're doing it with other people. Like you guys are not all copying each other's trades. You guys are bouncing ideas off of each other, and you're doing it in this public way. And so people get to see the misses, the mistakes, the heights, the glory, the risk that you're actually putting on. It's not this highly polished, only edited, only the wins that you're seeing on a bunch of YouTube channel. This is the real stuff. Like this is what it's like to be inside of a community and actually trading. Mike, like how did it feel to be there and trade with other people live?
So I loved it for a few different reasons. One, it was great to get Raj's view on the market, Rebecca's view on the market, and where she was getting into her trades at. What was really fascinating is Raj is more of a mean reverting trader. So he was ready to buy while I was ready to take profits on my short. Totally makes sense, right? He's on the other side of that trade. And it's to the point of like having different opinions and different bouncing off of each other. You know, I'm literally handing off my buy to cover trade off to him for him to buy a contract to go long. It's fascinating to see that play out in real time. You know, we don't get a view of who the other people are on the other side of our trade sometimes. Which brings up a whole separate topic around the whole zero sum game concept in trading. You know, it's not always zero sum, right? I just got out of my position to short sell and I made a profit, and then Raj gets into his position to go long and he makes a profit after the fact. Both people won in that particular scenario, right?
Right.
Anyway, separate topic in general, but I think the pressure to be accountable for my actions was a little elevated. I'm always accountable for my actions when I trade independently, of course, because I'm constantly journaling. But I found it funny today. I had my trade journal open and I was ready to start taking notes, and then I realized this whole thing's recorded. I don't need to journal anything. I'm just going to record this whole, if I want to go back, I'll just go back and view the video. So I decided not to actually take any notes the whole time I was trading, but there were some questions that came in. It gave me an opportunity to explain my thesis and explain my setup and where I would add to a trade, why I start so small. You know, I think there were some people that had asked, you know, like you only start with one MNQ, and the answer is yeah. That's how I'm able to manage my risk appropriately, because each trade I'm only willing to take $200 of risk on, and that gives me plenty of room for price to move, you know, in order to risk $200. One in MNQ moves by $2 per point, so I can allow price to move by 100 points before I'm ready to take my stop loss. And if the trade starts to move in my direction, then I'm able to add to it. So then the next obvious question is, well, where do you add to your trade? So I showed a whole bunch of ways in which I might add to my trade, and I'm looking for several different zones for that. So I thought that the process of trading live, but also kind of explaining live, was really, really helpful to stay accountable to my rules and stay accountable to my process. It's made me realize I don't think I want to trade journal at all anymore. I'm just going to live stream every morning because it's such a better way to trade.
That's exactly it. All right. So I'm so glad you said that. All right. So in the chess world, I'm a big chess nerd, and there's just something so satisfying by watching people stream their chess games. It doesn't matter. There could be 400 elo. They're streaming their chess games, and they're talking through what they're doing in order to make sure that they're doing better moves. They're not making assumptions. They're not throwing games and all that sort of thing. And I've always been annoyed that what you see for that in the trading space, there are some YouTube channels where you're getting people who are live trading every day. They're live trading their thing, but it's not like this. It's not like those are people who, generally speaking, are trying to be influencers within the trading space, and they have a course to sell or whatever it is. Here, you guys aren't selling anything, and like you were just saying, you're there and you're like, you can be fully in it, and as you're talking and you have the data on the screen, with the advent of AI now, we'll be able to turn all those things into your trade journaling, into tools in order to help you with what you're doing. So I just wanted to bring up, this is a silly thing, I'll just bring it up over here, but like, for example, I often take notes on YouTube videos that I'm watching. But I'm annoyed that I have to, when I click on a bookmark to add a note, usually it pauses that video. I have to think of a title or something to say about it. I'm not actually putting the mark at the beginning of where the idea was. I have to go back 30 seconds, 3 minutes, whatever, to what the first part of it is, and then it takes me out of the process. So I was like, hey, I wonder if I could use AI in order to spin up a Chrome extension. That's a better thing that'll automatically generate my stuff, and it'll, solve a lot of the pain points that I have. And it's not done over here, but you'll see it here on the sidebar, where I can go ahead and click to get a bookmark in there, and I could name it whatever I like. It'll be AI summarized. I could always go to those. I could click to go to those parts in the video. What I love also is that I can also, like, what the AI decided to do was to give me a dashboard where I can go and see all the different videos that I'm actually that I've bookmarked. I can export all this information, and I could create different tool sets, journaling tools, confirmation signals for my trades, all kinds of different things that can happen once it has access to all this data. So you can imagine doing this live stream every day or whatever, and then you have this database of yourself that you can then build things off of.
Right.
The things that are going to come down the pike now for the future for traders, I mean, it's just, we just scratched the surface of what's going to happen. People think it's going to be AI trading for you. No. You're going to be enhanced in your ability of what you can do.
I would take that a step further, Tom. And one, not only like fully support, I totally support what you're saying, because I think a lot gets conveyed in video that would never show up in my trading journal. So my trading journal at the moment is basically a bullet point list of my thoughts while I'm trading, and I paste screenshots of the chart at the time of those thoughts. And it's pretty good. For the most part, I can go back and review my sentiment for each trade. I only take 2 or 3 trades in a day, so there's really not a lot of, it's not like a huge stream of notes or anything like that. I'm not taking 40 trades a day or anything like that. So it's really simple to follow. I can go look at the thesis. Why did I take a short here? What caused the problem? And then I keep track of my key takeaways. So like, there's little things like, I need to stay in trades longer. Sometimes I'm taking profits too early, or I need to get ready earlier in the morning so that I'm at my desk ready, so that I don't have to break away to get ready after the market opens. Because sometimes I'll wake up too late, and it's like, well, the market's going to open in 10 minutes. If I don't go start trading in my robe, then I'm going to miss everything. So I trade in my robe and then try to get ready later. And that's not always great, because the need to break away causes me to miss opportunities when the session is still hot in the morning. So, I have all these notes that I've taken away from my trading journal that have helped me kind of create some discipline and some consistency around my approach. But the advantage to having video analyzed by AI would probably give me more in-depth analysis on what's happening throughout the entire session, especially if I'm recording both my screen, my actions, and myself. Eventually, I bet we'll get to a point where AI can start to analyze like what is Mike's physical disposition
Exactly.
here? Is he super stressed? Should he trade on days that he's more relaxed and calm, and his body language is saying, you know, hey, maybe this is a better in the zone day for you? And maybe even better, like if AI could tap into my live stream and then ping me on the side and be like, hey, I've noticed that your stress levels seem a little high based on your body language. Maybe you size down today, or don't take trades at all.
Yeah. I will also look to see stuff like where it sends a message. I'm trading and it tell that. And so it sends a message to you to be like,
Sure.
Tom might be making a mistake out here. You want to just give him a call? Just ping him and go. And then you message me. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't be taking this trade. Like the level of things that can happen to me are just unbelievable.
So
now, before we leave,
I do,
sorry, go ahead.
I just want to add, I do think from a product perspective, this is something we can add to our analytics package at TradersPost, where you could attach, you know, some content to each of your trade journal entries, which is going to be coming up. This is not live yet, but in the coming future, we'll be launching our analytics system, which will keep track of all of your P&L for all of your trades across strategies and accounts. And I want to add some additional tagging features and some ability to add in notes and things like that. But we might also be able to add in, you know, if I'm doing a live stream every day I trade, I'll just throw in the YouTube video there too. And then eventually I'll be able to ingest all that data back and have some analysis done on the video itself and correlate that to the actual trades that were executed. And that would be super useful.
The idea is like where you'll be one of your own indicators. Right? I mean, maybe you're intuitively understanding a thing that you can't bring to mind, but subconsciously the AI will be able to pick up these patterns. I think it's just so exciting. I could hardly sleep at night thinking about it. And the one of the limiting factors that that I had before was how much it costs to get the high level models to be able to process the information. I mean, I was to the point I was doing, I don't know, at least $100 a day, and that was me being like conservative. I'm like, this is unsustainable.
Sure.
But with Claude Code doing that at $200 a month, plus you have Claude Code as an SDK, you can build out, you can have the Claude Code build itself and build tools out for you just by describing, hey, these are my problems. Do you have a solution for, you know, what can solve that? Put together 3 PRDs of possible solutions, and then have another AI, have another version of you analyze it, and then build out the ideas, and then you sit around, it builds it off on the side while you go do whatever you're doing, and then it spits out something amazing. I've been doing that like all the time. Like, you should see the mini apps that I have just for myself in order to make my life easier.
I love it.
So excited. Before we leave the subject, I wanted to see here. So this is what I thought was the most interesting amongst all the different interesting things for your live stream. You messaged and you said, hey, I made this amount of money on the trade. And then you said, but times this number of prop firm accounts.
Correct.
And I was like, wait, does that change then the calculus of when you might exit a trade? Because instead of trying to capture a bunch of extra profit, you're like, well, this is times 15 accounts. I'm good. I'll take the trade now. Does that change the calculus for you?
Not at all. I mean, the idea is to get that trade to express multiple times across multiple accounts, because each one of them is a multiplier to a payout, right? Many prop firms allow you to trade multiple accounts, and if you've been funded in those accounts, then you can multiply your payout by that number of funded accounts. So by trading them all the same way, it just increases the likelihood that I'm going to see a bigger and bigger payout over time. So
you we see the your TradersPost dashboard?
Sure.
Just love to see what that looks like with all the accounts there. But so you're saying it doesn't, like, the trade you would take would be, you would enter and exit at that point, even if it was just the one account. You just have the benefit of multiplying it out. It doesn't change the way you think about when you should exit a trade.
That's right. So today I actually had 27 accounts connected to TradersPost. So this is my exit trade overall. And actually, this is one of the greatest benefits of TradersPost, is that most of my accounts are 100K accounts. So on a daily basis, I'm trying to gain between $200 and $500. You know, I'd like to hit 500 in a day on average. 300 to 500 would be great. Today was just this one $214 trade, and I haven't taken a trade since. But the max loss should only be $200. So roughly, a 2.5 to 1 ratio between my risk and my reward. So the number of accounts here, of course, is the multiplier. With most of these accounts, I'm able to trade the 1 or 2 contracts. I think in this case, I scaled in by 3 contracts. But the benefit here is that one of my accounts is actually a $150,000 account with Apex. Let me find it on the list here. That's this account here. And so this account actually has its own rules in my strategy settings on TradersPost, where instead of it trading 1 contract, it trades 2 at a time. So the signal is the same. The incoming buy and the incoming sell signal is the same. But because I have overriding rules on this particular strategy subscription, it trades 2 contracts at a time. So if I send in a second signal, it'll buy or sell another 2. If I send in a third, it'll buy or sell another 2. So this account was actually in by 6 contracts and exited with a $435 profit. So in total, I had 26 accounts that made $218, which, if that was realized profit for the day of my own capital, that's a $5,600 day. And then add another $435 to that, and I made $6,103 across 27 accounts.
See, this to me, when people say that trading is like going to the casino, I go, I think you got that completely wrong. That's not what this is. This is systematically finding where your edge might be. How do you amplify wins? This to me is a beautiful way of going about it. And I would imagine that, like, what would you have done if TradersPost didn't exist? You'd still want to trade. If TradersPost didn't exist, how would you go about multiplying your profits across the different accounts?
It's funny you say that. I talked to Tyler G about that. Tyler Godel, who's on Twitter as Tyler G Capital. And Tyler was managing multiple prop firm accounts manually across multiple screens. So in theory, you could trade from the Trade-of-8 interface across each of the prop firm accounts that you manage and basically go one by one, like enter, enter, enter. In other cases, you can group the accounts together in Trade-of-8. Like if you had all of them in the same login, you might be able to group them together and copy trade them across the features that are built into Trade-of-8. And then there are, of course, some other competitors out there that aren't as good as TradersPost, so I'm not even going to bring them up, that can help you copy trade as well. But the way I would have to do it, I think, would be closer to what Tyler was originally doing before he started using a trade copier. And that would be one by one, just trying to trade across all these screens. So definitely insufferable. It would be terrible. So I prefer being able to send this one signal in straight to TradersPost, and then it executes everything for me exactly the way I expect.
All right. So just keep in mind, folks, this is one of the minds behind the development of the platform that you're using. Okay. He is himself using it, power user all the way to the max. Every feature you want, he wants the feature times 10. All right. And just the idea of drinking your own Kool-Aid, actually be the one of the voices there in order to direct something like this. I don't know how you don't completely double down on a platform like that. Every conversation I have with Mike and John about TradersPost, every single meeting, every single message, it's all about, hey, this is a new feature we're adding, this is a thing we're working on, and this is how we're using the platform in order to make money. I mean, it's just very much inspiring. Thank you very much, Mike.
No, happy to do it. And I'm happy to keep making tools that actually make people's lives better. It was actually great hearing Rebecca on the live stream today. Rebecca Trades on Twitter. She uses TradersPost to trade across her accounts as well. She's passed multiple funded accounts on our platform as well. So, it's exciting to see other people using it in the same way out there in the wild.
Excellent. Well, right before we get to the questions and feedback and such, I just want to go ahead and take a quick word from our sponsor.
Ask yourself this. Are you making trading harder than it needs to be? If you're trading manually or still coding just to connect to your broker, yeah, it's time to upgrade. TradersPost lets you automate trades using signals from tools like TradingView or TrendSpider or even your own custom setup. It works with brokers like TradeStation, TradeOvate, Coinbase, and a bunch more. I've been using it myself, and getting started was smooth. The platform's clean, setup's quick, and once it's running, it just works. And when you're ready to scale, adding more strategies, plugging into prop firm accounts, or juggling multiple portfolios, TradersPost handles it. It's built to grow with you. Start your free trial at TradersPost.io. Trade smarter, automate your edge.
All right, folks. Just before we head off to the questions and answers, I just want, Mike, could you show off that new feature that was added to the bottom left that allows people to hide private information on their TradersPost account? Oh, you're muted.
My bad. Certainly, I am pretty comfortable sharing most of my stuff in my accounts. But yeah, we did add this feature to where if you are sharing your screen, you can feel pretty comfortable knowing that certain aspects about your account won't be displayed. For example, we obfuscate the incoming signal and all of the account level data as well. You can see it's just a bunch of garbled letters now. So now you can't see the profit that's made, things like that. So we are taking some feedback on that. We know that sometimes you want to show off certain aspects of your account, but not everything. And for the most part, we're trying to keep things private in a way that's sensible and makes sense. In my case, I actually just took another short. Might have been a bad choice. We'll see. But I did have that incoming signal here, just showing off this process again. Traded from a line on the chart. It sent a signal from TradingView off to TradersPost. Looks like the trade's turning against me for a second here. And it brought that incoming signal and traded across the 27 accounts again.
Excellent. All right, so let's get to the questions for this week. Nice crop of questions. First one comes from... sorry, there's a question in the chat.
To answer a quick question in the chat, we have a question about Optimus Futures. Thanks for asking. We have Optimus Futures on the list of brokers that we would like to integrate in the future. And actually, I think we have a call with them coming up in the next couple of weeks. So that should be something we can explore pretty soon. But at the moment, our futures brokers are Tasty Trade and TradeOvate and TradeStation. Those are the top 3 on our platform at the moment.
Cool. Next question here.
If I have 4 charts open, can I run the 4 bots off of TradingView to my broker simultaneously? Yes, you can. In fact, I have that on my own charts. Many times I have multiple layouts, all with independent alerts from each strategy that are running to separate strategies on TradersPost, and more often than not, separate brokers, because it's dangerous to run a strategy on the same broker and same account from 2 different signals, because you might, if you're trading the same asset, you might conflict where I want to be short on M and Q, for example, but then all of a sudden a separate strategy sends a buy signal. Well, that's going to flatten out my open position. So you just need to be careful about your positions and any conflict between strategies. It's always recommended that if you have some overlap in strategies, that you separate those into different accounts.
Great. Excellent. Thank you so much for those questions. We love getting your questions and feedback. We want to make TradersPost the best. All right. First question comes from from Cody D. Do you know of anyone who can set up a new algorithm for me and automate it here? Or do y'all offer this service? I thought that was funny. Well, what was actually funny was the
reasons.
Conversation that with Cody.
He was much more colorful in his language. Let's put it that way.
So he already bought a strategy, and he just wanted something that worked better than what he had. Mm-hmm. So we don't push any particular developers for strategies. We don't have a marketplace or anything like that. But would you have any recommendations, Mike, for if someone wanted to buy an algorithm, buy and sell signals?
Certainly. I'll pull up my screen here. We do have a page in our documentation under strategies and indicators. If you click on strategy developers, we do have some recommended people on Upwork or Fiverr that we know people have worked with in the past. And this list hasn't been updated in a little while now. So really kind of, do a little bit of research, check the reviews, make sure that these developers are still active and clearly delivering good work. If Tom wasn't already spread thin and on our team, he would definitely be the first person I recommend. He's one of the best PineScript developers in the world, but he's not available for hire, I don't think. So
I made the mistake. I was like, hey, maybe I could, solicit more contracts that way. And I go, nope, I couldn't even do one.
Too
No
much.
time
Yeah.
for it.
Too much to do. So totally get it. So we do have this list of recommended developers, but we've been covering this a lot on Blueprint, I think very well. The landscape and opportunity now to have AI develop code for you, and develop PineScript specifically to test a trading strategy is becoming more and more accessible, I think, every week as things improve. We just spoke with a fairly large influencer this week with thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of followers who developed all 3 of his strategies using ChatGPT and has never coded a lick of code in his life. And this is the first time he's doing it. And they work, they look good. The code is well written. And his strategy checks out. It has decent edge, and so I'm excited to be doing some content with him over the coming weeks. We're going to be doing a launch, I think, next week on his approach and his community. But the point is, it is more accessible now than it used to be. As long as you're very good at articulating your trade idea, the rules around it, how exactly it should function, and you're ready to go through the process of pasting the code, debugging it, taking the error, feeding it back to ChatGPT, telling it what the error is, get the improved code, and then go back and follow the cycle again and keep testing it over and over until it's doing what you expect. You can do this. You've got this. Between hiring somebody to do it if you don't have the time to work with AI or using AI, you've got more opportunity to develop a strategy on your own now than ever.
So you're absolutely correct, and I would actually lean into it a little bit more, which is why on Blueprint, we've made a special point, or I've been made a special point to do everything with AI as much as possible, because I remember what people had to pay me in order to make these strategies, and I know now what it costs in AI in order to do it, and the headache is totally worth it. Like what you're getting out of these things. If you tried this 6 months ago, if you tried it 3 months ago, it's not the same at all. And you were mentioning here that you can make PineScripts, which is absolutely you can do that, but don't people shouldn't underestimate what if you subscribe to your own market data. Let's say you go to Polygon.io, you subscribe to your own market data. It's actually easier for the AI to build a custom system for you, because it has access to all the system. It's building the entire system. It's using the libraries. It has access to all the documentation. You can look online. Whereas in TradingView or TrendSpider or whatever, it doesn't have access to the models, the compilation models, the errors, and all that sort of thing. And so I was actually surprised that there were pleasantly surprised that there's some strategies that if you just said, forget TradingView, just code it straight in Python and Rust or whatever, it can actually make it, and you get the signals that you're actually looking for. And the cost of it versus what you have to pay somebody else is to me, it's totally worth it. Plus, you've been seeing on the Blueprint episodes how we've been doing stuff like, I mean, it feels almost unfair. It feels like cheating, but I mean, that's what the world we live in, where we take the transcript of the YouTube video. That's it. Just the transcript of the YouTube video, feed it to the AI and go, hey, make this strategy. And then it does. So it's a brave new world. Maybe try that before hiring someone else. No shade to my other developers out there. There's going to be more work for you. There's tons of people who want to do it. But if you're part of the TradersPost audience right now and you're paying attention to, you probably have it in you to give it a shot. All right. Next up here, question is from Isaac. Can we please? Go ahead.
Yeah, we have a comment here I wanted to follow up on real quick. I think this is more a question around strategy sharing, and right now our platform is built really to support the independent trader, which is why we're encouraging you to test your own approach to markets here. but the question was around some of the competitors allowing copying from somebody else's account. And the truth is that's actually not something that's supported by prop firms or even the public markets. So it's not something we support on TradersPost. If you can find it out there in the wild, it's not likely to last. Let's put it that way.
That's what I've been finding. I've actually, because I was wondering this. Oh, the great traders out there, you can just go ahead and follow along with their trades. And it's been now 7 years that I've been following along this, and I've not seen any of these silver bullets that last like this entire time. Some of them work within certain regimes. They seem like geniuses at the time, and then after that, it doesn't work out, or they're eking out like the same amount you would if you were just to trade.
Sure.
So I get that sort of idea, but you know, I haven't tested all of them out there, but the ones that I've seen, and I've seen quite a bit of them, I'm surprised by how much there's not staying power versus standing up your own strategy. All right, next up here, Isaac S. Can we please have a setting option for dark mode? I believe this should be a simple fix for those of us that don't appreciate the bright background.
We're almost there. We've had it asked several times. We've made some improvements to our color palette and our design and our interface so that we can support dark mode in a way that looks visually pleasing. I think the previous iterations we had of our UX wouldn't really support dark mode very well, but I think we're pretty close. I think there was only a handful of things that we had left to complete before we could start allowing that switch. Totally get it though. I'm a big dark mode fan myself.
All right, next up, well, we're going to get, I'm fine with these questions that are coming from people, again, because these are people who, we solicited these questions directly from users on the platform. So I'm very curious, like, what's top of their mind? Next up here, Spyro H asks, it would be nice to be able to see current P&L under the dashboard for all accounts instead of clicking each one by one. Did we mention this last week or the week before? There was something similar to this. Consolidated view across multiple brokers as opposed to going into each individual one.
Right. We've got some improvements we're going to be making to the strategy dashboard, which would give you kind of the balance and open P&L for all the accounts that are subscribed to a specific strategy. But at the moment, it is possible to see your open P&L on your dashboard as long as the broker supports open P&L, and not all brokers do. So in many cases, like Project X connected accounts don't have open P&L, and there's a handful of other brokers that don't provide it. But for the ones that do, you should see a profit and loss indicator with a percentage as well as the dollar amount that you've gained or lost in that account. At the moment, it's effectively your open P&L for any open positions. And as time goes on, we will be improving a lot of those metrics and analytics in real time, especially as our analytics package goes live. But that's coming soon.
Exciting. All right, next up. Jose R asks, would love an engine that could receive trading signal data and only act when environment variables would meet criteria. Trading alerts are too inconsistent, and I find myself doing things to get the alerts as fast as possible. I'm a full stack dev and can help you design it. I'm considering building mine to manage, but I feel you have a great foundation. I'm going to bring up this on 2 points. One, the first part is something like we had talked about. It did come up a few times where people want to be able to have, let's say, I assume this is what they're saying, send in multiple different signals and only consider a buy or a sell when, let's say, 3 out of the 4 are correct, are there. But this idea that, and this is what I want to touch on with you, Mike, this idea that people go, hey, I have the skills to build my own, but I trust TradersPost to be able to implement this sort of idea within the platform. And it would be great if you guys did that. Is that... Do we want to see people create these tools separately outside of TradersPost, or do we prefer that they go ahead and tell us, hey, this is the features that I want, people vote on it, and then we integrate it? Which one's easier for us? Which one's one we want to solicit?
Both. So, I mean, obviously early to a feature being enabled on TradersPost, we always encourage people to solve the problems that they have in front of them. We want everyone to be as successful as possible in their trading journey. So if you have a way you'd like to put together something that works for you and still use our infrastructure the way it was built, then by all means, go for it. the request we've had for this type of feature is something that we are already investigating and do have on the roadmap. It's going to start with something we're going to call JSON formulas that allows you to define certain rules within the JSON payload so that when it gets to us, we apply those calculations and then execute the trade. But it would also include some contextual variables, things like open P&L, open position data, and possibly even saved state rules. And those saved state rules would include things like, hey, I already sent a signal which include X, Y, and Z. If that number is greater than blah, 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 then execute the trade or don't. So there could be some ways to sort of use our engine and the context around the environment and within your account to do this kind of thing where, you know, some people refer to it as gates, where you have to like pull a couple of levers before the gate opens and then the trade can be allowed. I think we've got some ways in which we can do that very effectively and very quickly. In general, when it comes to our execution engine, we only want to implement things that are going to ensure that our execution engine is still as fast as possible. So that's a big part of the challenge at the moment, is making sure that there's not too many conditions and too much data we have to collect before the trade gets executed.
Got it. All right, excellent. All right, next up, question from John F. First, I want to say I have been with you for a month and things are starting to go really well. I have a question, recommendation. The TradersPost paper account, I wish it showed the true day P&L instead of showing your invested dollars as days loss. Forgive me, I should have reworded that a bit. So right now, the paper account shows the true day P&L instead of showing your invested dollars as days loss. I'm not sure I'm getting that.
Yeah, I'm capturing. He's looking for the total P&L, the realized P&L at the end of the day, rather than the open P&L of your open positions. And that is something that we will provide once we roll out our analytics package. At the moment, we're relying on what's available from the broker to show on your dashboard. And most of the brokers will give you open P&L for any open positions. And that's what we're displaying on the chart, or not on the chart, but on the dashboard. But as we roll out our own solution to keeping track of your P&L, we can do all kinds of stuff like that. Realize P&L for the day, for the week, so on and so forth.
Excellent. Next up. Let's see here. Someone asking in the chat about July 4th sales. Do we have a... Yeah, it could be.
Maybe. We're working on something. Bear with us. We're going to make an announcement soon.
They happen when they happen. What you can ensure is that if you subscribe to all our platforms, especially on Twitter, you're going to get the information with everybody else. And keep an eye on your inbox. We send
Keep an eye
emails
on your inbox, and also our we've been trying to make use of our chat bubble more lately. So if we're going to do an announcement, it would come up in your chat bubble on the TradersPost dashboard.
Eric W asks, hey, any chance you can create reporting? I'm assuming this is analytics. We want analytics just as much as you guys want analytics.
And we're getting there.
Okay, moving on. Is it possible to automate take profit trailing stops past break even on TradersPost? Thank you. This is from Vi O. What are the likelihood that will enhance the take profit and stop loss feature, trailing stop features, especially considering the fact that not all brokers or exchanges support bracket orders?
So this gets a little complex. The brokers that don't support trailing stops, there's often a reason for that. And effectively, they don't allow algorithmic order types, especially if you're, you know, the solution for us would be to listen to the live price and actually implement our own algorithmic order types. And then the moment that condition is true, then we send off a market order to the broker and then exit your position. So it's something that we can explore in the future. At the moment, though, we're relying entirely on the brokers for your exit positions, limit orders, stop limits, trailing stops, so on and so forth. So it is possible to automate take profit trailing stops if you have bracket orders available from the broker and you've implemented your trailing stops and take profits appropriately. And at the moment, that's the best way to do it, is to keep those orders with the broker. Our philosophy probably will remain that you should use the broker and not TradersPost for the exit side of things, because even if we listen to price and we try to send off an order request to the broker, there's still that small distance of time between the time of the alert taking place on TradersPost and the order getting executed with the broker. But if you've attached the take profit and trailing stop with the broker, it is going to get executed a lot faster with them than it is through us.
Right. Makes sense. Okay, next we have Tyler C, who asks, I would like to open more paper accounts without paying so much more. I've been trying to find a good strategy for almost a year, at this rate forever, but I should be able to get more paper trading, please. So we do have the add-on option now for paper accounts.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to take offense here a little bit. As someone who didn't make the decision, Mike and John spent a lot of time trying to make sure that you guys are paying the least you can for the paper accounts. I think it's actually very fair the way that you guys have gone about it. You want to just speak to the idea of the pricing of these add-ons?
We did spend some time thinking through the pricing, and we did put some strategy into both the paper account and live account pricing strategy for add-ons. We are making some considerations around how many accounts are included at each plan. We'll circle back with you guys as soon as we've made some decisions there. But I will say that if you keep an eye on your email and keep an eye on your dashboard, if we do a promotion here soon, which may happen, will happen. Don't tell anybody yet, though. That discount also applies to your live and paper accounts. So if we offer some kind of discount, then that would apply to the $5 a month paper accounts and $10 a month live accounts as well. And that's for as long as the promotion is available. Most of the time when we do promotions, it's for 12 months.
I think it's funny because TradingView found ways of increasing the number of plans that they have, right? They have now the professional plans, and you're paying thousands and thousands. And TradersPost hasn't. We've been there for you. We want to make sure that these features are available to you. All right. Next, we have last question here. Your service is super professional. Trevor was very nice and took his time to explain me again things he wanted to make sure I understand. This is from Roy M.
Cool.
Got to say a big thank you to Trevor there.
Shout out to Trevor for sure.
Awesome. And if you send praise and thanks, you're always going to get on the show. Just to let you know, you're always going to get on the show there. All right. Well, that's it for office hours for today. I'm just going to mention that on Thursday we will be here for Blueprint, where we'll be going over even more AI automation when it comes to development strategies and indicators. So stay tuned for that, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. On Friday, we'll be here for After Hours, which is our market commentary show. But keep an eye on your intercom bubble, because if you get a bubble, we'll be soliciting questions, feedback, and testimonials if you want to get your question read on the show. Pops up, send a message, and we'll be right there. Hey, you don't even have to wait for the pop-up. You can go ahead right now and click on the intercom bubble and send a message, because we want to hear from you. We want TradersPost to be the best platform of any technology anywhere ever. There, we said it. Let's just aim high, Mike. Let's just aim high. And for that, we need your help. Thank you so much for taking the time with us today. We appreciate it. And as always, we wish you happy trading.
Cheers, everyone.